Beautiful. Piano introduction. I love that. You feel that too, right? You feel like the morning dawn, as it were, the morning dew, the coolness on the grass, the like the spinning flowers, the stretching, you know, the sun rising at the distance. Isn't it funny how like a very simple piano melody, only the piano can elicit just so much sparkle? It's cool. It's interesting to have seen a live concert and to see this concert and how different or similar or different they will be. Who's playing the organ? Oh, a person. Oh, that's cool. We never heard Windborne Hymn in a concert before. I thought it was a character from Genshin, in fact. They did such a good job there. Look at this. This is how you do a digital concert. I think that's the Obo d'Amore, if I remember correctly. It's incredible how this music is able to elicit such a scene of serenity. This concert's nice. Love those woodwinds symbolizing the land of wind. Wow. Do we know what orchestra this is? Jono, no. London Phil. Thanks, Casey. Good to have all of you that knew that. We've heard this before. Love that bright piccolo sound, highlighting that hustle and bustle. It sort of gives you like a medieval sound quality in a way, doesn't it? I love the subtle, intense energy in this too, yeah? Oh, shit. Watch out. Okay, nothing happened. Ooh.
There's an archaic tale to be told, that of which is of an ancient one. That of which traveled among the gods.
I don't know why.
That of which beheld lands undone, seas spun.
Okay, so we heard a different version of this live the other day. I wonder how many takes all this was done in, one or two or... I love the crispness here in the up bowings and the down bows. Because it syncs up really well with the prog, well, it's not prog rock, but the rock elements of it. Nice slide there too. Nice build up here. And she's rip-roaring, though. Oh, oh. It's a little bit of fiddling, actually. It seems like a fiddling technique more than... Oh! That's... How many strings was that? Like, 1, 2... It's a lot. Eight string? You can feel that Yasunori Nishiki. Yeah, I can feel that too. It's giving me Octopath Traveler 2 main, like, boss theme, battle theme. Fun. I like the pep in that. That was really, really cool to like feel the sort of effervescence and the vibrancy of that. It's super, super like the way that because we have these sort of like short bowings and very like strict up and downs. It has an essence of tightness that's really, really nice, because if you're a little bit too lackadaisical and it's a little bit too legato, you lose some of the urgency in that. And I wonder why, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, why there is that kind of urgency in that piece. Like, is there a motivation there for Venti's character? You know, this sort of sense of, oh, we have to do something really quickly. We have to do something really fast. Is it confidence? Is it like a charming character? Is it like the rock elements make me think about like getting something done or having to move quickly into, I don't know, finishing something up. You know what I mean? Like, so it's fun how the way that we down bow and up bow and move in with the strings coupled with the rock elements, it creates an interesting dynamic of intensity and intention. Whereas if it was, you know, more legato or a little bit sloppier, and not in the playing, but in the production of the legato line and of the phrasing, where things are kind of blurred over each other, measure wise, you know, it would have a different sound quality. So that's cool. Yeah, what a pensive theme, right? I think it's really interesting. This is such an interesting and neat picture to me, is that we have this start with this like solo classical guitar, and I think of you know, the character of Diluc, and like I mentioned this last stream 2 days ago about the idea of the somber quality of that, and why there is a feeling of almost like a somber restlessness. And it actually makes me think that maybe actually Diluc and this whole like Dawn Winery idea is actually more of a meditative and isolated experience, where, you know, the difference between solitude and loneliness, and how different those feelings are, if you've ever experienced either one of those, which you have because you're a human, unless some of you cyborgs are here in the chat or whatever. There's an inherent feeling of a quiet contemplation with an era of solitude that's based around the feeling of like being alone, but not in a feeling of like negativity, but in a feeling of like deep reflection and yeah, Selena, you said reminiscing, and Crystal Singh said a sad nostalgia, and absolutely. Yeah, it's very interesting. Oh, I have a code for you. Thank you for reminding me. Yes, I told you I was going to have a code. Please hold. Please hold. Important stuff. Oh, stop the presses. Where is it? Here it is, right here. Hold on. Special. We have a gift code. Could you please add this comment with the link? Gift code. 60 primogems and 5 adventurers experience. Here. Where's my live stream? I'm live right here. Hold on, chat. We gotta get you the money. I'm live right here. And I can't comment on my own video. poopy. I'm going to put it in the description. Look at the back end of YouTube. Look at it. Get your gift here. Gift code NA88ANTJL5SD through 20th of December, midnight, to the 20th of February, midnight UTC +8. Pick that up. I'm going to go ahead and grab this hashtag I was told to grab. There you go. Hashtag, 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 boom, boom, boom. Go get that code. It's in the description. Don't leave the live stream, though. Don't leave the live stream. Or leave. It's your call. All right. So, solitary stuff. Rosie. Diluc was solitary at a point in his life after his father passed away and traveled to the Cryo Nation to avenge only to come back. Here we go again. Dawn Winery. You're welcome. Hope you enjoy those 60 primos. But here too, listen to the crispness. It's an interesting thing, yeah? You're welcome, Yautini. Alberti. Actually, that's a really nice touch here. The way that we don't have a lot of, the entire time we have like rhythmic structure, da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 da. It doesn't do that at the end, da da ya da da da, and it ends. It's interesting how that's how they chose to end this piece. Sadesh asked a great question. Do you think maybe different orchestras have different ways of going about preparing for a theme song and then performing it? 1,000,000% yes, because not every orchestra is composed of the same people, A. And B, when you have a different music director, in this case Yasunori Nishiki, the way that the music director, A, organizes, I don't know that the music director organizes the program, but the music director kind of helps coordinate how things should sound, right? That's like the general idea. And then you've got the conductor that in the rehearsal process, they're the ones who are moving and sort of looking at the score and being like, this could be a little bit cleaner, this could be a little bit cleaner, let's tighten up the rhythm here, let's do this or do that. Sometimes like the flute here had a lot of articulation with the rhythm, and while they were playing the melody, the rhythm was very precise. But it wasn't robotic because that's inherent the quality of the player. So it's all based on several different factors, but no orchestra or no singer or no musician will ever sound like another. It's a really complex thing that is really interesting. So one thing for me, for example, when I was singing professionally, I would get into, like, let's say the last gig I did in France, when I was singing Macduff, the way that I sing alla paterna mano non vi fuscudo cari. Now, a conductor could say, a music director, who's usually the conductor as well, not in this case, it'd be like, okay, Marco, that's good. Can we try a slower build-up to Paterna Mano? So we want to have a crescendo into Paterna Mano because that's the crux of the word. So instead of going alla Paterna Mano, let's do this. Alla paterna mano. And then, actually, Marco, why don't we hold over non vi fu scudo cari? So instead of going paterna mano, non, paterna mano, non vi fu scudo cari. Connect those, Marco, and be like, okay, yes, sir, I will. And, oh, actually, don't breathe in between measures because that disrupts the flow of the phrase. So anyway, long story short, to answer your question, one absolutely will never be the same as the other. And it all depends on several different factors that I just described. Hope that answers your question. And you're welcome. I am happy to carry you through your shift. You're welcome, son. Someone said, thanks for the code, Daddy. I'm not your father. Nor am I your daddy. But you're welcome. Klee again? It's clean. This is a clean recording. This is really good. Code's in the bio. No. You could say it's clean. That's cute. I love the stank on that, huh?
Klee, you know the consequences.
It's a fun song, isn't it? Oh, wow, we're moving quick. We're going to get a good bit of Fontaine then. That's nice. Let me guess. Liyue? Wangshu? Where are we going? Hu Tao again. Interesting. Love the playful curiosity of like, where is it? Where is it? Who is it? I love the interactivity with the... Oh, this is so much better than her demo theme. Wow. That's so melodic. It tells like the story of Hu Tao's personality. Playful, but also like really loving and caring. But she can't avoid getting in trouble, right? I like that. I never heard that actually. So I actually prefer that to her demo. Her teaser is super sweet, actually. Actually, you know, that's an interesting thing. Oh. I feel like you get much more of her personality out of the teaser because Hu Tao, and actually I don't know that I haven't done her story stuff, but like there's a quality in that, especially with the strings and some of the sustained strings there, that is really, really innocent and kind of pure actually. Whereas like I think her demo is a little bit like leans into the like the ha ha ha, I'm a you know, funeral parlor person, whereas this is like, you know, I'm a really complex three-dimensional person with many thoughts and many feelings besides being a silly goofball. So The code just got you Navia. I'm so happy that I could do that for you. That is my gift to you. Merry Christmas. Please stop calling me father. I'm just so happy for you. Slow clap. Oui, enfoncé dans le chat. I'll give you a shot. Oh man, I do love this theme so much. Clear skies over Leva is so beautiful. I wonder if she was scared of heights. How did they manage this? Chad, is that the Shao? Damn, they climbed really high up there. That's impressive. You know what I realize about the Shao now that I've been listening to a few times? Thank you for chat for confirming that with me. There's a warmth about the Shao, isn't there? It's really interesting how we compare some of these instruments to their counterparts, and how like something like the Shao is probably in the same family. Well, it looks like a recorder, but it's not, obviously. It would probably would equate it to the same family as the flute, maybe. And it's interesting how the flute is such a bright sound, and it's interesting even in when we think about oboes. Oboe, then there's the oboe d'amore. I forget what the proper name of that is. Pretty sure it's oboe d'amore. And so the oboe d'amore has this lower sound quality. But actually those examples are not good because they're the same family. Whereas like the Shao is like in the same like woodwind category rather than. It's in the same category as the flute, and has a warmer tone than the flute. It reminds me of a flute, but it's actually probably not a flute. Whereas the flute has like the alto flute, the bass flute, the soprano flute, the piccolo, I should say. And so those are more of a family, but this is like the Shao is like the cousin of the flute. But the warm sound quality there and the quality of it gives off like this breathiness almost. It's beautiful. And also one of the things that I really like about these particular pieces, and I think Yupeng Chen in general, I believe this piece was composed by Yupeng Chen, is the use of the stripped away piano, so that we only have like one instrument, and in this case we have two instruments. And it's such a delicate thing, isn't it? It's like so tender and so like you want to like protect it. And it really, I mean, if you look at this image, this is my favorite part of the game actually, this and all of the Nezuma, but this particular section of Liyue is just so stunning and so sublimely beautiful. And I think it's really nice because when you get that high and that Adeptus, whatever, and you're making this climb, you really get that sense of like the clouds being below the mountain points, and it's really, really interesting. It's so beautiful. This reminds me a little bit of Gulin, for those of you that are familiar with Gulin. My mother went to Gulin not too long ago, and she took pictures, not like this obviously, but she took pictures of the mountains of Gulin, and it's really beautiful.
To the blind,
oh, ciao, Daniele.
Everything may not be as it appears.
Buonasera. Of course, another Genshin. A Lover's Oath. Oof. See what I'm talking about? Isolated piano. Best theme, yeah. I love the transition there because you think it's going to end, and then we're like, actually. Gorgeous stuff. And I think, you know, this a piece that's that short. Like I like you wish that this piece was slightly longer. And what's really interesting to me is that this particular track is short, and there is a section of Le Nozze di Figaro, which is a really popular Mozart opera. And at the end of Act 2, there is this wonderful moment when in the Act 2 finale, where there's this beautiful melody, Marcellina, Marcellina, ba ba da ba da da, and you would think that that would continue because the melody is so beautiful. But actually what ends up happening is the melody ends and we go back into this faster section. And what I wish is that the melodic, it's funny because if it were longer, that melody that we are savoring and enjoying may actually become a little redundant or not as meaningful. But because it's short, much like life itself, because life is so short, we can really milk and enjoy that moment of melody, even if it's only 30 seconds, or in the case of Lover's Oath, 1 minute and 30 seconds. It's funny. It's a funny thing how I, like you, wish that this, you know, Lover's Oath was just a little longer. But I think it's a beautiful, simple, it's just beautiful and simple. I don't know. Shao theme? Oh. Wow, it's interesting. This is very similar to the Shanghai concert, huh? Someone today actually just commented about how the reason why Shao didn't die in this particular moment was the character development and how his arc hadn't finished, and you know how I feel about this. Love the tension in this piece, though. Yeah, the edit here is phenomenal. It's beautiful, and I like it's what we know from in-game, but not. Oh, I didn't. You know what? I just noticed Shao's motif in there. Oh, in there too. Oh, I missed that the first listen. That's cool. This was a really good quest. I don't see anything wrong with using a playable character that died. It would have hit really hard. I mean, I understand why he didn't die, obviously. Especially with Zhongli helping him, obviously. But in my headcanon, he did. Oh. Of course. Is that an electric Arhu? Where's that? That's a really nice sound quality there. What was that? That wasn't a rocket. That wasn't a guitar. Hold on. Oh no, it is a guitar, isn't it? Yeah, there was a guitar in back left. Oh, okay. Let me just say, so I have a thought. You know, I think it's really hard to see this like a live performance of this and then get this, which is probably not live. And especially because this program is essentially the same as the Shanghai concert program and also like the touring Genshin concert. Actually, I think that probably makes sense because of the nature of like, you know, kind of promoting that concert. Not that this is, but I find it kind of funny that like the Shanghai concert just dropped like what, 5 days ago. We watched it 2 days ago. And then now we're essentially getting the same things. So it's immediately less impactful, Genshin impactful. It's not to say it's bad, obviously. It's actually super well produced and the effects are great. And I think this is a great way to have a digital concert that is very, you know, I think it enraptures us and makes us want to pay attention. However, it's much less captivating, I'd say, especially when we heard all of this live in that Shanghai version. I think when you see that, like, you know, the audience and like the ensemble on stage and like it's minimally produced, that's going to give a different response to this. So I found that kind of interesting. And that's just a little point of constructive, like criticism, I'd say, of looking at that and being like, oh, this all is kind of the same songs, but that's okay.
披冠到这里本该接近尾声，但今日我再添一笔，唱与诸位听。曲高贵的
It is so good though.
彼时鹤归，茫茫天地无依靠，孤身离去。今日再会，新朋旧友坐满堂，共聚此时。
A couple thoughts. Someone up here mentioned something that I wanted to point out. Rhea Sanka said, I think this one recorded a long time before the Shanghai concert was held, considering the editing required 1,000,000%. And I likely believe that was what happened exactly. Would I prefer if they released the two videos in the opposite order? No, I think that the order is fine. I just think maybe actually like delaying the concert to like February would have been better. Well, it's hard February because of Lantern Rite, but like sometime in January or March. Not that it really doesn't really matter though. If this is the same digital concert was released further along down the line from the concert that we just saw from Shanghai, do you think it would be more or less successful? Equally successful. I don't think there's ever going to be a Genshin concert that is not successful. Let's put it that way. I'm not sure how I feel about the maybe they're trying to captivate a younger audience. I think what MiHoYo is trying to do actually, which is really smart to me, is to synthesize the difference between a live concert and a simulated concert, because they know that it's a virtual outlet, and so they're providing that service of giving us a concert without having us to pay for it. Well, except for the whales. Thank you, whales. I think it's actually pretty interesting, and I think I think people would watch it even if it didn't have all this stuff. I also think it's probably fun for them to attempt new things. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's a really interesting thing. Oh, and also yes, I watched all of the Honkai Impact concerts. There were 3 of them. One of them I did back to back in the same live stream, and then there was a third I watched as well. Yeah, exactly, Runato. They did this for the Honkai concerts too. Oh, they're outside. I wonder where that is. Oh, it looks gray, so somewhere in England. I like this. This is pretty stylized and interesting. I wonder how much playing they actually did outside, or if it's just like staged that way. You know? Whoa, did you see the vibration on the harp like that? That's so cool. You never get to see fun like stuff like that. You know, they definitely filmed this in October because of the leaves. I love the oboe. Well, they're still playing. So it's very interesting because they had to go into studio to record, or well, they probably did it at the Royal Opera House or something, and then they had to then go outside and stage it. It's crazy. Crazy.
The Kamisato clan's future. The duties of the Yashiro Commission. My brother should not bear these burdens alone.
Is this wet socks? Oh. Oh, Soar in the Wind. Yeah, I love this one. Oh, it almost looks real. Wow. That was beautiful singing by that child too. I'll talk about that in a second. It's such an amazing thing about child singers and younger voices, because there is an inherent feeling of like underproduction. The term, man, what is the term? So there's a sound quality that occurs when the vocal folds don't come all the way together, and there's just a little bit of space for air to kind of push through. Do you know the mechanics of how singing works, chat? Just curious. Or rather, I guess the question would be, do you want to know? I'll explain it to you briefly. So essentially, when we train vocally, when we train for singing and opera singing, especially, obviously this child is not opera singing, but one of the things that we focus on is the idea of getting our vocal folds to come together. And so what you want when you're, I had a thought that I'm not going to say out loud because it's inappropriate, but when you look at the vocal folds from like the back of the throat down into the structure of the larynx, it looks like this. So, okay. I'm not going to say that. It looks like this. Look like I'm doing the universal sign for the. Never mind. So it looks like this, and and so there is there our vocal cords are these literally these like they're super thin and they're white, and when they come together they vibrate. Okay, they vibrate like this. And so the key thing here is that when we singing, they go like this. And so the air is coming out. But if there's essentially what ends up happening is that if there's usually in children, because their muscles are not as like, you know, strong. So their chords don't necessarily come to, which is why you get, it's very different from, you hear there's still air coming out because that's inevitable because the air has to come out, but it's not. And this is the term for this is hypo something hypochondriac, no, thyroid, no, oh gosh, hypo. I would have to look up like some vocal technique book that I threw out because that shit sucks. Point being, that's why you hear in children, you hear this beautiful, innocent, childlike sound because their chords are not all the way, like they're coming together, but there's so much air that just blasts forward, probably because of the musculature. And so, if there's any you know, people that know a structure. So anyway, all that to say, like, that's why you get that pure sound quality, right? It's really interesting to me, but not interesting enough to take a vocal pedagogy class again. I'll tell you that much. This is Ayato. So we've never had Ayato on a stream or on a concert ever. I love the tension in this. Feels like he's fighting for something. Oh yeah, actually. Nice swell in there. Damn. Hypofunctional, yes. Thank you. Hypofunctional, thank you. I like that. I've never heard it before. And then I love that we have the Ayato clan sort of motif there. Da, ya, da, da, ya, da, da. No, I haven't seen all the demos because I want to eventually do this like like demo video where I watch every single demo and talk about it. I should probably just do that as a live stream. Spend an hour. So anyway, if it's interesting to you, thank you. Who said that in chat? Someone said that in chat, which I appreciate. But essentially, functional dysphonia. Dysphonia is the medical term for disorders of the voice. Functional dysphonia is poor voice quality without any obvious anatomical, neurological, or other organic difficulties affecting the larynx or voice box. Hypofunctional dysphonia, results from an incomplete closure of the vocal cords or folds. But that's a vocal disorder, so I feel like that still applies. I'm going to do more research on this because now I'm actually curious to make sure I was giving you the correct information. All right. Can't deny this one. It just doesn't land. It's really amazing to hear this music like performed with live instruments, but it's hard with these EDM tracks. It just it's inevitable. Also, his 3 Mile Stare is phenomenal. It's so effective. That's impressively tight. Don't clip that. That's so funny. Hevel says it's called having several versions. Hey. Yeah, that's true. Oh wow, okay, we're pulling some new ones here. Would you like me to have Yai Miko's voice actor on the channel? Another Tita of Inazuma. I'll ask. We were supposed to earlier in the year. I'll ask her. I'll reach out to her. Not the Japanese VA. I like that with the sax. That's cool. Love the way that the tension builds up here. Yeah, Inazuma definitely leans on that like mystery sort of sound. It's interesting. Oh, Sumeru, okay. And it's an interesting thing how it leans on the sort of mystery vibe, you know. Also, what am I drinking? I'm drinking Olipop, not sponsored. Cherry Coke. It's got 5 grams of sugar. Is Rotana Filipino? As you know, Miss Meatball's Filipino. Salamat po. Oh, Tita, I want Anne to come back on. I love Anne. Wow. I love the open quality in that flute. It feels so expansive. It's so interesting. She came to Manila. Nice. Let me DM her right now. Alright, I asked chat. I have to say, looking back on Sumeru, it actually, I know I had some folks unsubscribe when I said that Sumeru wasn't as good as Fontaine 4.0, which, okay, well, whatever. But interestingly, I have to say, reflecting back on it, I think Sumeru was just really good. It's interesting how things have sort of done this sort of bell curve thing, and it really started with Sumeru. But I think musically, from a musical perspective, in a lot of ways, I actually think Sumeru, now that I'm sort of like letting the like sort of debris settle a little bit, I liked Fontaine's music, but I think Sumeru's music is more interesting to me. It's a little bit more, well, given the region, it's a bit more earthy, and it's a bit more, it's a little bit more complex for obvious reasons, I would say. And I think I think now that I've listened to quite a bit of Fontaine's music, not on the channel, which will rectify it in the new year, but like if Fontaine is very like Western, very like classical music adjacent, especially some pieces which were very classical music. I actually, now that I am going back to Sumeru, I actually think I prefer it, which is weird because I Sumeru was a little overwhelming for me just because there was so many instruments that I didn't fully understand, and I was a little nervous to talk about it because I want to respect the music, and it was really important for people, and I wanted to be careful about what I said about it, and I really like it, but I didn't feel like I could properly like share thoughts about it without sounding kind of like either A, ignorant, or B, just stupid. And I didn't have the time to do the digging and the research that I wanted to do on the like regionalism of the music and where specific things come from and why they were written the way they were. So Fontaine, I feel a lot more comfortable, obviously, but Fontaine is a little bit more neutral, I'd say. It's a little bit more like, it's not harming anybody, you know what I mean? It's not like the Dirge of Coppelia or Coppelius, or that whole duet there. Like, that's nice. And there's a lot of nice pieces on Fontaine, but I do think that Sumeru ultimately is vastly more interesting. Who said exotic was a bad word? I don't think. No, exotic is not a bad word. Just get a real sense of passion out of this. Now wait, I want to have a discussion about this because this is interesting. So first of all, let me be clear that if I misspoke and that saying something is exotic is inappropriate, let me just say that I am sorry if that is offensive. However, I also want to point out, I want to point something out, and the reason why I said that, because there's a reason for why I said that, and if it's wrong, then I'm happy to revoke that thought process. But Blue Steel said, describing non-Western music as exotic is just wrong. And then someone else, OK Striker, said it's foreign to Western people. And so I would like to just explain where I'm coming from. And again, if it's incorrect, now there's a couple different things. Exoticism in music. Georges Bizet was a French guy who wrote. Did you watch my Farina Constellations video? I explained all this, but I'm going to do it again. Exoticism in music refers to people writing about places that they don't live in based on what they perceive the place to sound like. Now, I'm not suggesting that there wasn't a ton of research done on the musical language and the landscape of Sumeru or Middle Eastern and Indian nations or places. I'm not suggesting that. I'm not suggesting that there wasn't love and care and attention to detail put into it. And certainly when we look at the history of opera, there is 1,000,000% a degree of racism that occurred. Puccini wrote Madama Butterfly that he had no concept, and we get into this discussion all the time. Turandot is a fairly racist opera when it comes down to it. And the fact that we have white people pretending to be Chinese for the sake of performing an opera, this is a discussion that happens so much in our culture now. And even when I did a Madama Butterfly, the woman who played Cho-Cho-san, the lead of Madama Butterfly, was not Japanese. And there are many techniques that are used to make a person look a certain ethnicity. And that actually is unequivocally wrong to do because it stigmatizes and it doesn't promote, the importance of cultural diversity. And fundamentally, that opera is also kind of problematic, but Turandot is especially problematic because it depicts Turandot as this like fiery person who executes anybody that gets in the way, and so there's a whole thing. It's funny because it's actually performed quite a bit in China, based on my reading. But the point is that Puccini wrote an opera called La Fanciulla del West, which is a story about gold miners in the turn of the century in the United States. Technically, that's exoticism because he didn't go to the US. He's not a US person. It's like a play on ideas of what is perceived to be a place, right? So the soundscape is what is perceived to be Western, right? And that's what you hear when you hear that opera. Georges Bizet is a prime example where he took Le Pêcheur de Perros, which I don't know as well, so I'm not going to reference, but Carmen is a super famous opera that is steeped in exoticism for what he perceived the music of Spain in whatever time period to sound like. Therefore, that's where I'm coming from when I'm saying exoticism. By no means that I mean that in an offensive sort of way. I just mean that in a way that the folks that wrote this are not from that region. And so therefore, despite the knowledge, there is a degree of it's like when people are like, oh, not me, but the comments are like, oh, it sounds like Arabian Nights. Does it? Okay, but first of all, let's not say that. Second of all, how do we explain why that music sounds the way it does and educate people so that they understand the modes that go into that music and the tonal structure and the microtones and all the different ways that things are that way in that culture musically? That's a very important conversation. So anyway, sorry. Just want to make sure that we're clear here because that is not what I meant. That said, there are also the flip side of that. Exoticism is the other concept being you know, whatever, you know, that can also be a derogatory reference, but that's certainly not what I was suggesting.
Are you ready? 3, 2, 1.
I mean, either way, it's pretty interesting, but, you know, I really want to avoid a misunderstanding there. I take everybody too serious, and then all of a sudden I'm on Twitter. Oh wow, they included Aranara. Oh my god, that... I have to say, this concert is incredibly... This sitar sounds so gorgeous. Yeah, but this whole concert has been really, really clean. It's not something that you see very often, and certainly with respect, it's also very hard to put on a live concert and have 1 day of rehearsal or even 3 hours of rehearsal, which we're kind of seeing with some of the experiences that people have been having at the live performances. So on the one hand, we're really, really lucky that we get to have these experiences where we get to, as a global community of people that appreciate this music, we can go and be live and experience this stuff. However, there are some pitfalls that come with live performance. I also think it's a really interesting concept that we live in such a digital age, and it's been like this for like pretty much all of our generations, like Gen Z, especially millennials, more or less, where like, you know, the advent of CDs and cassettes and like ways to digitally record things sort of totally shifted the way that we perceive and look at live performance. Where live performance now is kind of viewed as a thing that you do because either you can A, afford it, or B, it's you know, it's a thing that like is not, it's like a special event. Whereas like prior generations like had to go to live performances in order to experience it. So there was like an air of understanding of like errors or mistakes or things not being as clean as they are, because there was no frame of reference. But so when you like have all of these YouTube, like you can look up the most perfect performances of whatever event, whatever opera, whatever classical piece, whatever Genshin piece, whatever video game you love, like that's forever. And you, I remember the first time I went to go see an opera, I went to go see an opera and I was stunned. I hadn't been in a theater to see an opera. And I was stunned at how quiet everybody sounded. like they sounded far away. That could be a million different reasons, voice type, so on and so forth. But what was really interesting is that even the orchestra was pretty muted because they were actually in the pit. Whereas like if I'm listening to the CD, it's like all up in my face. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, up in here, you know what I mean? And it's like, oh, this is loud. This is satisfying to listen to, so on and so forth. And so I think we're really lucky that we get to experience this stuff live, but it is a little bit unfortunate with how clean something like this is, where this will not be what the experience is like live usually, unless there's like days of rehearsal. And it's one of the pitfalls of the live experience, for good and for bad, having cracked high notes in live performances. I'm sure someone left one of my performances and was like, this fucking guy sucks. You know, he cracked the high note, piece of shit. I'm going to go home and listen to Pavarotti. And that's well within their right. But also, like, that's just the facts. Like, life is funny that way. It's funny how things can get messy. But yeah, I thought that was interesting because this is really clean. Oh shit, really? Really? Oh. Such a weird choice.
Once more, I have lost my heart. It hurts. My skin feels like it's on fire.
discussion? No, I will abstain. It would be unprofessional.
Probably ashes in the shape of a heart. But that's not a real heart.
Maybe. But what if hearts can be born from ashes?
Such a beautiful piece.
How dare you die like this and break your promise to me? What a joke. It's just ashes.
Oh, I got goosebumps. Holy shit.
Nothing left but ashes.
I got goosebumps on my legs. Yeah, it's good. So sublimely piece, like sad.
If only I could have burned to death in that fire too.
And then the Inazuma motif in there too. It's just so beautiful.
In fact, I wish I'd never been born at all.
You know, it's just long enough too, where it's very impactful.
Never been born at all. Is that really all you wish for?
And Patrick, of course, was phenomenal. You want my comments? So as far as good, here we go. As far as the performance, I think it's hard. It's interesting to me because I it's just not. I feel a little bit too close to the subject matter to really say something that comes off as like unbiased, I guess. Because I've covered it, I've sung it. I'm a tenor, he's a baritone. So I feel a little bit too close to it to like give you an unbiased sort of neutral opinion on it without being like, well, I would have done this, because inevitably that will come up. So I think for me, everything I need to say, I've already said once before in a video, which go watch it. Boost the views on that. It's good. I don't know. I think the hard part is that like the see, it's funny because if you say one thing, then it's like, well, there are multiple variations of things and all of them can sound one way or the other. I think that the original is the right choice. I think, and obviously it's Yu Peng Chen, but we find somebody different that sounds like that. I think you need, even my version is, actually I'm pretty proud of that recording, but I think that that's also the wrong choice. Like, I think that's cool for like those of us that like are in the sort of Marco Meatball like circle, or people that appreciate opera or whatever. Like that's a perfectly good cover, but it's not really the intention of it. It should be a leggero tenor. It should be light. It should be a little airy, and it should also lean into the Mozartian aspects of that. I really, 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 really dislike the pastiche of that. It is silly. It is so silly, and I can't take that seriously. The singing's fine. I mean, it's fine. Singing like. You may hate my voice. People have hated my voice. People may love my voice. People have loved my voice. I cannot control what people think or perceive of my technique, the way I sing, the style in which I sing. People have tried to remedy my technique to sound a different way. That's never going to be able, it's impossible. So does he sing well? Yeah, fine. Yeah. Is he the right choice? No. Would I want him to watch this and feel bad about himself? No, because he did a good job. Because performing is hard. And I would never want someone on a public forum to be like, well, blah, 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 blah. It's offensive. So, and I don't know if there's like some double standard in there. Maybe I've done this, or maybe I'm just a music snob, like everybody says. But what I would say is that I don't feel he's a good singer. But I don't feel that he's the right choice. And I think part of the reason is that it's just too heavy. It's too dark. It's over darkened. It's too dark for my taste. Again, my taste or your taste or someone else's taste. But I guarantee you there are plenty of people that like that. But I do think that the production quality is so strange. And I love MiHoYo, but like, why do they choose to make it some sort of like freaking like 1980s like camera angles? And what's up with the fucking growling there? Like, just leave it out. Like, cut it. That's it. Your grace. What the fuck? That's weird. And so I feel very close to that song. So, that's the one video on my channel that's very close to 1 million views. Thank you for that, by the way. We're super close. It's like 970,000 views, and that's fucking crazy. I just don't like it. Blech. I just don't like it. Blech. I just don't like it. Anyway, those are my professional perspectives on the matter. If you'd like to see more on that, I have a whole video. But in the moment, I can tell you it's a little bit too campy. And I don't like camp. I think that's the thing I have a problem with. I don't like camp. Same with Alan Wake 2's Herald of Darkness. I actually love the song. I've been singing it and humming it since listening to it last on my video game battle video. But the camp of it in the dancing and stuff bothers me. I don't know why. I'm like, I don't get this. This, like, it bothers me so much. And it's the same thing with the Scaramouche stuff. I'm just like, I just don't like it. So anyway, the singing's fine. It's fine. It should have been a leggero tenor, a light tenor. I could have given them 10 other people. Rene Barbera, you may have seen him on streams. Anyway, that's all my perspective on that. Raiden Shogun. This is beautiful. Oh, that is so lovely. I think this music is more like music that you enjoy while doing stuff in the background. It doesn't pull me as much as like music that I want to listen to every second, like I have with like a lot of the Inazuma tracks. It's so lovely and so vibrant. It's very easy listening. Brianna said, yeah, it's true. And yeah, Nether said it's chill. Yeah. I like to fantasize a Belle Epoque Paris where Genshin music is played by street performers. Yeah. Oh, I owe you a second. I owe you the battle theme. Number 2, was it? They're probably definitely at home with this music, especially. Video them. What? That's. Don't even tell me that's all we get from Fontaine. It's because it was. Wait, no. It was released in. If they filmed it in the fall. I hope we get some of the Focalor stuff from near the end. Yeah, it'll be later. Huh. Yeah, I mean, we're lucky we get concerts like this at all, honestly. Whales. Someone on Twitch sat. Meowtini said, "Thanks, whales." Actually, we still have to watch Hoyo Fair. That is one thing I didn't do. Wow. So I'll keep that in mind for the new year. Should really watch that from this year. I think it was a couple weeks ago, wasn't it? Oh, it was probably a month ago now, actually. Did they film the creators do this? Like some creator, someone... Are these creator clips? Billy Bailey players do this? Jesus Christ. Oh my God. You scared the shit out of me. I want to check out the credits too. Yasunori Nishiki. Robert Ziegler. Oh, Paolo Andrea Di Pietro. He's Italian. Dimeng Wan. Yupeng Chen, Yupeng Chen, Yupeng Chen. Simai Wan, Yupeng Chen. Dimeng Yuan. Do Yang Yang, Yupeng Chen, Dimeng Yuan. Yijun. I gotta learn how to pronounce these names. Yupeng Chen. Oh wow, Soar in the Wind, Dimeng Yuan. Shan Bing. Dimeng. Yupeng Chen, Yijun Jian. Dimeng Yuan. Cool.